Hello YouTube, this is Total War Seraphim bringing you the 6th game of the FIB tournament. That is the Faction Inheritance Battle. This battle is being played in Blade Balance 2.0, just in case anyone's watching and doesn't quite recognize the units or what they're doing. This game I'm proud to bring you is between Cicero of the ZEAL clan playing as Bactria and Horatius of the TGR clan playing as Rome. Alright, we're going to take a look at Horatius' build playing as Rome. Up front he's got Vigiles, Hastati, a third Hastati, Vigiles, Sacii Equitae Extraordinari, 2 of them, Legionary Cohort, Evocati Cohort, Legionary Cohort, and an Evocati Cohort, and a Legionary Cohort. For skirmishes, he's got Syrians, Balearics, Syrians, and another set of Syrians. The 2 Sacii Equitae Extraordinari on the left flank. Sacii Equitae, General and Bodyguard, and Sacii Equitae. Now for Cicero of the ZEAL clan playing as Bactria, we have a Levy Pikeman, Levy Pikeman, Eastern Spearmen on the right flank, Eastern Slingers, 2 sets of Eastern Slingers, 3, Elite Persian Archers, Persian Light Archers, Elite Persian Archers, Bactrian Noble Horse, 2 Bactrian Noble Horse for the right flank, and some units hidden over here on the left side we'll see shortly. A Bactrian Royal Cavalry for his general. Clearly there are some units missing for Bactria, and I hinted at them in the intro. He does bring some Indian war elephants to this battle, and as such it makes Rome Horatius's job a lot more clear. If he can just stop the elephants, then the infantry should be able to overwhelm the pikes. I'm sure you've all heard my view on pikes, and that they're great for static formations, and they're great if they're attacked from the front. But once you get any type of infantry in behind them, they seem to crumble very quickly. Even if you have a unit facing them and you get, say, Vigiles. So here we have the Bactrian Noble Horse on the left side, a Levy Pikeman to back it up, Eastern Spearmen, and right back there you can see the Indian war elephants slowly making ways through the forest. And again, I think it's intelligent to keep them in the forest, limit skirmisher shots on them, arrows and so forth. Surely Horatius has seen this already and is starting to position his men accordingly. He opts to try to take this small island, which is very smart with the amount of skirmishers that Bactria, that Cicero of the ZEAL clan has brought. That many skirmishers, if they go toe-to-toe with the Roman skirmishers, have a good chance of winning. And if they do win, if they use concentrated fire, then the elephants are able to get in cleanly against Rome, and that would be a big deal for Horatius. So the left flank here is moving through the forest for Horatius, just the Sacii Extraordinaries and one of the cohorts. He seems to be trying to envelop, and you can already see Cicero trying to pull back his right flank. He wants to engage with the skirmishers first so that he might limit the amount of men and ammunition left for the skirmishers of Rome, so that his elephants could get in there cleanly. It seems that whenever there's elephants on the field, the strategy for both players becomes very clear. Bactria's goal is to get them in without being shot, and Rome's goal is to keep enough ammunition in reserve and to attack the skirmishers of Bactria in any way that he can, so that his skirmishers can focus on the elephants. So the elephants are brought out of hiding. I'm sure he knows that they've already been seen. And they threaten here on the left flank. Horatius has again taken this forest here. It's a good place to start landing attacks, but already the auxiliary Syrian archers are under attack from the Eastern Slingers. and it's a very good target. He uses his, Horatius uses his Vigilae to push back against the skirmishers, which is very intelligent because that's what they're there for. Aside from meat shields, they're the units you don't care about, and you use them to keep the skirmishers turned so that you can get shots with your skirmishers into their backside. He also is pushing up his cohorts up along the left flank. This is very smart. In the forest, they're offered a significant amount of protection from the skirmishers and are difficult to see until he brings them out of hiding. Again, the skirmishers are looks like they're targeting these levy pikemen. I question that target, but there must be some strategy designed around it that I'm not entirely sure of. Again, the Vigiles are being used to basically push back the skirmishers in an attempt to keep them at a distance, and Cicero is happy to do this. He pulls his skirmishers all the way back and allows shots on this levy pikeman, because every shot that's wasted on the pikeman is not a shot at his elephant. The Socii Extraordinari get into this Bactrian noble horse, and alone they would lose this battle, but the legionary cohort here is here to back them up. And in doing so, the Bactrian horse now attempts to flee, and as it flees, the Extraordinari are going to make it pay for that. Down only 3 men is that Bactrian horse. The other Bactrian horse stands guard, waiting to help. The skirmishers are moving up here, but the lack of melee infantry for Bactria it hurts it in this situation, because the cohorts can help in any cav fight, and they're protected in that forest from the skirmish fire. This Bactrian horse is now engaged, and with 60 men is now being charged again by another Extraordinari. It's going to take losses off the charge, and an extended melee with the cohort isn't going to do well, though it will be a slow grind. The Vigiles are pushed through the gap and attempt to chase off the eastern slingers, and this is a great use of Vigiles in my opinion, because the pikes just don't have the ability, they're not maneuverable enough to turn around and attack. They can block them off, but they are not going to engage in melee very effectively against them, and the Vigiles are free to pursue the skirmishers at will. Again, we see the cohorts just basically pulling away from the pikes because there's nothing to hold them in place or to make them pay for retreating, since the skirmishers are being harried away as well. The Extraordinari come here and get a quick charge into these Persian light archers, who are really going to pay for that. They break almost immediately. The Socii gets stuck a little bit on the pikes, but pulls off very well. Very good micro on the part of Horatius. His general is being brought in. These eastern slingers get caught by the Vigiles, and that won't go well, really. So now the Bactrian noble horse is now engaging in melee, perilously close to the skirmishers of Rome, and here they come. Here comes the concentrated fire of that appears to be the Syrian archers and possibly the Balearic slingers, and they're just absolutely pouring fire in there. I don't see this general getting out alive. It's already down 1 man. The pikes are the only supporting unit here, and because of their awkward formations, they don't form very well, and they can't get to attacking very well. So the skirmishers are just absolutely laying fire down here into the Bactrian Royal Cavalry, which has its back turned and has taken even larger losses in order to face the Socii Extraordinari charge, which will again just tie it in place as the skirmishers lay fire in there, and it's entirely worth the friendly fire penalty. Bactrian noble horse and the Socii Equites are engaged, and the whole right flank of Bactria has seemed to crumble. The elephants have not engaged. They're moving down the line towards this flank, but at a slow pace. And there are plenty of skirmishers left to deal with those elephants should they try to engage in the main line. The pikes again out here way too far advanced, and aren't able to do anything really effectively offensively. The skirmishers and the eastern slingers here now are taking fire from any available units. The goal apparently for Horatius is to simply get rid of the skirmishers and then turn his bows and everything on whatever's left, saving at least some ammunition for the elephants should they enter the fray. Bactrian noble horse again being surrounded. The Vigiles in here doing the only time they really do well in combat up against horses, and the Bactrian horse crumbles. The pikes again trying to reform, but now they've shown their flank to the Roman, and any attack by a cohort is going to force them to crumble. Rome really is very much overpowered in that regard. So the skirmishers are now opting to choose to target at the levy pikes. The pikes again can only position themselves frontally and are being attacked both behind and on the side as the legionary gets into it. So it looks like both these units have plenty of ammunition now. The auxiliary Balearics are now taking fire from the Persian archers. And again, the pikes are forming kind of perpendicular lines in an attempt to stop the advance of the Romans on this right flank of Cicero. Legionary cohort here pours into the back, and the Vigiles are getting a rear attack, and this is what I'm talking about. You know, any attack in the back, and the pikes really just, they can't handle it. They just crumble, regardless of how many men you put in, 150 men, 200. If you outflank a pike, it's pretty much done. This pike is attempting to move up in an offensive position, but you see the Roman legionaries are just pulled away again, and superior maneuverability of the Roman maniples are far superior to these long lines of slow-moving pikes. This Equite Extraordinari gets into another skirmisher, again threatening this entire back line of skirmishers. There is a Bactrian Royal Horse back here, but it has not entered the fray as of yet. The pikemen again forming static positions to keep the Romans at bay. The Romans more than happy to do so at this point. So now the Extraordinary gets charged by this noble horse, and the Extraordinary aren't going to do well there. You can see they're already dropping. It shouldn't be long before they start to waver. The pikemen are wavering, barely keeping it together. But now here the elephants have been brought up on the left side of Horatius, or the right side of Cicero, and he's attempting to bring them into these infantry units. But now you can see they're being targeted by the Syrians. And it won't be long with flaming shot. He's trying to run them amok. I question that at this point. I imagine heavy shot would probably be better, but honestly, any shots against them right now is what you'd be going for. So the elephants running berserk here, and are taking a fair amount of damage. I mean, a significant amount of damage, and they're doing some damage too, but they're only doing it to what appear to be Evocati and maybe Vigile. And as such, it's a bit of a waste of the elephants. I understand he didn't have many targets. He wasn't presented many targets. The left flank of Horatius moved up too quickly, and the elephants were out of position. They couldn't charge their flank, so I completely understand. The cohort is getting into these pikemen. It has no problem engaging frontally since there's so many infantry left over. If they can hold them from the front, then any unit that smashes into their back is going to rout them. The bodyguard is brought into here against the Bactrian Royal Horse, and the Bactrian Royal Horse is facing a combined arms of the Legionary and other units. This Vigile gets into the levy pikemen here, and helps rout one of the other pikes inadvertently. And that's how unstable those pikes are. And again, I understand. So now the skirmishers are gonna start targeting the backs of these pikemen, causing significant morale loss as well as killing many of them. The elite Persians the Persian lights are trying to get their shots in, but the Bactria, Cicero's faction is crumbling here. Even these Vigile are doing well, and this cohort are doing well frontally against this pike. All across the line, we're having a severe break, and it looks like Rome will take this game. Congratulations to Horatius, and well played to Cicero of the Zeal clan. So if we take a look, these Socii Extraordinari did well. Look at this, 214 kills. His skirmishers doing very well. 116 for the Evocati. Hastati got no kills, didn't even get a chance. 86, 59. Vigile 139. I assume those skirmishers. But if you look at the Bactrian, the elephant 36 kills. The skirmishers barely even got engaged. Spearmen got no kills. The most kills looks like was this pikeman, 41 kills, which is an absolute surprise to me. I don't think I've ever seen a game where a pikeman had the high score. But anyways, again, I offer this all, and for what it's worth, I've certainly, I'm sure, been trounced more soundly. Not to say that it was necessarily a trouncing, but I want to say thank you very much to both players. Cicero of the Zeal clan and Horatius of the TGR clan. Thank you very much for your participation in the FIB, and I wish you the best of luck. This is Total War Seraphim signing off. Be well.